Hello everyone. Welcome to celebrating Curtis Whitecarroll's birthday, even though he's a very modest person and he may not appreciate me saying that. But here's the reason that we're all here, and he's produced this event, and he has many poetry connections, and he's dancing behind me, and yes?
Wait, the opening act got here.
Oh, the opening act is here. Wonderful.
Everything goes back to normal now.
And everything goes back to normal now, and I'll see you in a bit.
Please welcome. She was born in South Korea and she invented pizza. Please welcome Amy Temple Harper.
Sorry, I'm late. I had work and then I had an incident with the police and then I got stuck in traffic on the 26th and I really have to pee, but thank you for letting me be here, Curtis. I really appreciate it. I do have this. I don't know if anybody collects chapbooks, but I did bring this. Has anybody seen this one? This is called 2004 Whitecarroll Sucks Press. And I wanted to bring it because it is brilliant. And I believe, I don't know for sure, but I believe it's homemade. And it has the Whitecarroll stamp on it, all over it. So I'm just going to read the last one if I could. It's called Sugar-Coated Lives. Meeting quick ends, broken like toys, notes of life, burn the notebooks. And that's by Curtis Whitecarroll. And in the event of his birthday, I did bring my very own homemade chapbook for him, except that I couldn't make it look cool. So I did have a printer actually print some. And they will be here for sale. Okay, so let me just read one poem. I know there's several readers. I don't want to. Okay, I think I've already taken up 9. So. This one is called Sprocket. Once I stole a bicycle and rode it all over Portland, looking for a place to rent a car so I could drive to Alaska for a reason I've now forgotten. Up to the Enterprise Rent-A-Car on Burnside Street. Down to the Enterprise Rent-A-Car on Barber Boulevard. Each place I could not afford to rent a car, even on a stolen bike. So I stole a car, but my stolen bicycle would not fit on top of the '92 Honda Civic. So I took the bike apart and stuffed it in the back seat. During the trip up the Alaskan highway, I didn't have any money for food, so I started to eat the bike. First, nuts and bolts. Nuts. Then once I started, I could not stop. I ate a rear tire, then the sprocket. When I reached the Kenai Peninsula, I could not afford to rent a house, so I squatted in one and hung the stolen bike in the waylaid garage and parked the stolen car in the squatting driveway. But one day I started to form a spare tire around my waist, and in the end, I started to shit nuts and bolts. Okay, this one is called Creationism. And I wrote this for European word reading. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, where they give you certain words and you have to fit them in, and they give you a certain amount of words total. But this is one of the things I wrote for that reading series. On the first day, he said, "Let there be light." And there was light, so she could buy shoes on sale and foil her attackers. On the second day, he said, "Take this pill, for it will make you better." Miraculously, the water above rose from the pool of screams below. On the third day, dry land appeared, and he threw her to the ground and rinsed her mouth out with soap for saying the word hope. Instead, he said, "Now repeat after me. Your love is tiny. I love you. Your love is tiny. I love you. Your love is tiny. I love you." On the fourth day, she washed the laundry. Wash, rinse, repeat. The spin cycle is a storm of seasons rotating forever. On the 5th day, they took her and put her in the white room with padded walls, and the screams were selfish. On the 6th day, they wrapped her in plastic and foil to lose weight and have lustrous hair. And she shall be named Beautiful. They released her at the Target Superstore so she could shop like a wild animal. She howled with the savings. On the 7th day, she rested. Her mouth grew tattered, and she swallowed the whole bottle of pills. On the 7.5 day, she died. Thereafter, they embalmed her corpse, and they tattooed the word tiny across her knuckles. Your love is tiny. I love you. Your love is tiny. I love you. Forever and ever. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, that was really beautiful. Our next two performers are Donna Rose Garrett and Doug Spangle, starting with Donna Rose.
Hey everybody. Hello. Thanks for putting this together, Curtis. I don't know, huh? Yeah, I'm kind of tall. Different sizes. All right. So I didn't really work out an introduction, so I'm just going to go into this. This first one is called Sky. You can probably guess what it's about. The sky is like a separate reality from this one, like a cracked mirror, an alternate world, so much cleaner, so much freer than this one. It's the land of the birds. Oh, how I wish I was a bird. I'd fly so high that it'd only be blue, enveloping me forever. White puffy clouds like the ones you see in famous paintings. I want to be a cloud and just float on by. And sometimes I wake up in bed and I'm just lying there, and the first thing I see is the sky. It's as if I've remembered something I forgot a very long time ago. I can't even conspire with words the perfect crystalline feeling, as if someone painstakingly carved those clouds out of the finest ivory, and just like that they break apart and float away. Oh, but sunrise, after you haven't slept all night and you're feeling a bit funny. It's pink like the flesh of some perfect vagina, purple like untouched veins under powder-soft skin, and I want to lick it, touch it, and become it. I walk backwards down my street, admiring its brilliance, as it makes the morning frost glitter like the eyes of some holy saint. There's no amount of money you could give me to take me away from sunset on my rooftop or a seizure. Okay. Try to work with that there. Okay. There is no amount of money you could give me to take me away from sunset on my rooftop. I feel my heart rising, pumping helium into my veins. I'm just drifting away like a little red balloon, so far away from the harsh reality of concrete and mortality. And I keep falling in love with you, sky, over and over again. This was inspired by some graffiti on the wall that I saw. Someone had written, "Come meet me in the stream," and for some reason it inspired me to write this. And that's what it's called, "Come meet me in the stream." The writing on the wall said, "Come meet me in the stream." And so she did, and stared across the marshlands and watched the kids on the roller coaster get whiplash, the heat making sweat secrete from her pores. The picture of death on the page was looking up to the sky, the beautiful lucid heat of the summer waving across the grasslands sprinkled in lavender-colored flowers. The train rolls by and it starts to rain, and it's just like heaven. And the world screams in the background, and the train just whistles ahead, and water drops fall onto the concrete and disappear. The sun breaks through clouds. I outline the raindrops that splash upon this page like little eyeballs, so I will never forget them. The world sometimes feels just like a dream, a beautiful, horrible dream. one's called The New Black Death. It's kind of depressing. Both my father and my mother tell me not to have children. He says, you better watch out when all the oil runs out. You better watch out. Watch all the dead in the ground rise out of combustion machines like thick, transparent ghosts choking the air. They glide out of aluminum pipes and big industrial machinery up into the fragile sky as beautiful young virgins wash up on the shorelines. The souls of the living leave early, even before their vessels have expired. And Hecate cannot take all their souls. It is rush hour traffic in the underworld 24 hours a day. And now it costs more than a couple coins to cross the river Styx. Hecate no longer scares the living. There are no more offerings left to her. She passes through the crossroads with tangled snakes for feet, starving for affection. The ocean is black, and there are now bigger monsters, even than her. Bigger sacrifices are made with a touch of a button. So Hecate just entangles her snaky feet and pulls forward midnight nipples that rip through murky skin. She tries to brush her tangled blonde hair and wait for this world to die and the new one to begin. So I have a couple more. There you go. I find you in the sand, laying starfish on the ground. I want you to see me, but the sand dollars are too bright. The water tastes like a bag of salt, and you ask me to hold your hand, but I am made of sand, so I just fall in between your fingers. I followed you up the hill, far away from the sea, where the seagrass lays, and where old River Walter's home once was, but now all we can find is an old rocking chair and a sycamore roof that is breaking down. I want to ask you, where is old River Walter's? But I also want to ask you, why won't you touch me? Because no one can see us, with the foam washing off the waves. And you always tell me I'm this big thing, so much bigger than you. But I want to just be a woman to you. I want to be a girl. I don't want to be bigger than life, because life hurts. I want to be inside of all that. So let's see, I'm going to get rid of the rated R one and just have two more. Thanks for listening. And this one is also untitled. She said I was wiser than her. It shook me, those words, and reverberated in between the soft wooden walls of her lover's cabin. She said if I was older, I would have saved us. I would have taken my big-eyed baby sister and my wild-haired mother and drove away from all the little fiberboard boxes waiting to combust under the New Mexico sun. I would have swept them through flat two-lane desert highways, past young, dark-skinned men, pinpricked with impoverished ignorance. But I didn't, and I couldn't, and no one could have saved her. No one could have reached out to her, and I just want to tell her it's over now. But I know it's not, because sometimes the darkness suffocates me, and the mind has a way of playing tricks on the heart. The mind has a way of digging up old bones and shaking them about. It has a way of drowning the soul. And I wish I had just told her. I wish I could have just told her. I would have saved her. But there was no one to save me. I have a couple more minutes. Is my time run out, Curtis?
You got time.
I got time. You timing it? No?
Yeah,
Okay. This one's not titled either. I walk down the street as if I've just been abducted from some beautiful tropical heaven where the leaves are always green and children never cry, as if the whole world is collapsing around me. I walk down the hot nuclear Portland streets. I walk as if I was a budding flower, and the weight of the sound of combustion machines rolling through concrete just wilt me to nothing. Nothing but a memory of some pollen-rich spring day. And I try to protect my fragile body with no shield from the man who's sitting too close for comfort, asking me questions of generic authenticity. I almost want to scream, get away from me, but I keep my cool. I'm a director, I say. No, I don't do that. No, goodbye. I almost crash my 1/8 ton bike into 2 tons of steel, and I run away into a cubbyhole just big enough for me. It all seems so sugary now that I'm not out in that big outside world of pushers and pushies, hustlers and players, of victims and rapists. And the cars driving by, combining with the train's wailing noise, could be some mechanical symphony, hushing me off to sleep, played to me by a warm summer wind in April. about. Rock and roll is dead because nobody stopped Coca-Cola or Disneyland. Rock and roll is dead because when the levees broke, all the last great blues gods went straight to heaven. Rock and roll is dead because everyone is microchipped and plugged into a TV. Rock and roll is dead because people stopped dancing. They were too desensitized to do much else than nod their Joan Jett hair and tap their engineer boots. Rock and roll is dead because too many people want to be rock stars and have hot-erect groupies suck their dicks and have their promoters jerk them off till they're staring glassy-eyed at their next fix. And writing songs about girls riding in fast cars and how fucking cool it is to be a rock star. Rock and roll is dead to the masses because the masses got Bud Light, HGTV, World of Warcraft, cell phones, fast cars, cheap women, Hollywood, and the emptiness of one lost generation. Put me in a time capsule to 1965 and I would never even look back. Rock and roll lives in some kid's basement who just heard Castles Made of Sand for the first time, and he is starting to cry. And somewhere in a trailer park in the middle of the desert, a prepubescent girl is hearing Patti Smith's Rock and Roll Nigger, and she suddenly feels strong for the first time in her life. Rock and roll is dead unless you read between the lines, unless you pay attention to the people playing on the streets, or wander into some dimly lit bar, or tune into the radio after midnight. You might catch a glimpse of yesterday, a memory of why your parents questioned authority, or how your grandparents met and found love. It's still there, and you'll know when you find it, because it will feed your soul. It will keep you up year after year like a first love, or a shooting star that never dies. And that's rock and roll.